Hi friends. Last session we have discussed the different types of commands theoretically. Now we will see practically. So how to execute the different types of commands in SQL Server Management Studio. So first we will start with DDL command. First we will start with the DDL command. In DDL we have create, drop, alter, truncate, rename. In DDL we have create, alter, drop, truncate, rename. Yeah. So first let's see the create statement. Let's see create statement. So what is the syntax of create statement is create table name. So we can write any either in capital or small letter. It is not a case sensitive. We can use any letters or capital or small letters. So with help of the create statement, we can create a different types of database objects. Database objects is nothing but table table weave indexes 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 store procedure we can create with help of the create statement. So for suppose if I want to create the table, so we need to create the we can use the create statement syntax. Create statement syntax is create table name. We need to give column name here, column name, data data type, and the column name to column column name column name is something any column name so on. So this is the syntax of create. This is the syntax of create statement. So with help of the create statement, we can create these database objects table weave index store procedure. So before creating the table, we need to create the database. So without creating the database, we can't create the table. It will show the syntax error. For suppose I'm creating the for suppose I'm creating for suppose I'm creating the table without using the database. For suppose I'm giving table name is something like uh, student std id integer integer and name varchar something I'm giving varchar name varchar 20. So I'm creating here. Now we'll see. So we get the syntax here. So without creating the database, we can't create the table. So we need to create the database. What is the database syntax? Create database. Database name is SQL class. SQL class. SQL class. So now it's completed successfully. Now we can see that in database. In database, if you refresh, now you can see SQL class with a query. So there is a two ways to create the database. With help of the query, we can create the data. With help of the query, we can create the database. Without using the query, also we can create the database. For suppose left side, you can see click on database. Click on databases. Click on database. Right click on database. Now you can see the new database. Click on new database. Click on new database, and you can give any database name. For suppose I'm giving SQL underscore sample 2 I'm giving. So click on OK. Then you can see right the database it has created in the SQL server. So we can create two ways. One is with the query, and also without query also we can create. So after create the database, then only we can create the table. So without using the database, we can't create the table. So create syntax is create table name, column, data type, any column to data type. So I'm giving create table name is student one, ID integer. ID means it is a number, right? That's why I'm giving integer. For the number, we have to give integer. For suppose for name purpose, we have to give char or varchar 2. So rule number is number, right? And so I am giving integer. So then you can execute. Then you can execute now. So already table is created. So suppose I'm giving table has created. So, and also we can create the table. There is a two ways, how we created the database. We can also create the table without using the query. Also, we can create the table. So, for suppose click on that uh, SQL class. So anything SQL class or anything, if you click on, so there is a table, right? So right click on tables, click on new table, click on table. So you have to give column name. Column name is, so for suppose if you are giving emp underscore id, I'm giving. So data type should be number. So here is the drop down is there. It is a number, right? So we have to give numeric. So if you want to allow the nulls, you can write check the nulls. Next one emp underscore name. So you have to give numeric 10 and create and allow. If you want to allow the nulls, you can check that nulls. Then if you close this, then it will create the columns in the database. Click on S. So you have to give em table name. So I'm giving table name is emp employee. Okay, click on OK. So now you can see now. Refresh here. Refresh. Click on tables. Yeah. So dbo.emp it has created in the SQL class database. So after we have created the table, so if we want to insert the records into the table, so we have to use insert the command. Now, what is the syntax of insert the command? Insert into table name, column 1, column 2, up to so on. So suppose if the table has a number of columns like ID, name, roll number, location, something. So how many columns are there? How many columns are there in the table? We have to specify the columns here and values. You have to mention values. So value 1, value 2, you have to specify. So I'm inserting the table. I'm inserting the records into the table. Insert into student ID. So you have to specify the you have to specify the column ID, name, roll number. Insert into student table name. You have to specify ID, name, roll number, values. So I'm so so you can execute now. Select and execute. So one row is affected. So you can see. So if you want to see the table, so with the help of the select statement, we can see the table information. So select a star from table name is student 2. So one row is created in the table. So suppose if you want to create two or three rows, so you can insert into that query. Then, suppose if you want to another row, but suppose if you want to add another row, same like how we created, right? I'm using copy. Copy, paste here. I'm giving here number 2. Here I'm giving Rakesh and number 35. Select, execute. So one row is affected. One row is affected. But suppose if you want to see, select start from execute. So in insert also we have this is the one way to create the insert insert the records into the table, and another way also we have. So for suppose, so I'm using another way to create it records into the table. Insert same we have to specify same thing like top we specified here, right? Same like that. But here we have to mention uh third Raj 36. We have to give comma. So here we are using all the times insert into student, insert into student. So we no need to use it all the time insert into student. You have to specify only one time. After that you have to give comma and give another row. For comma you have to specify ram comma 38 you have to specify. Then suppose if you want another row, you can give like this. So any how many rows you want to add, you can add it. I'm giving only 2 records. If you want to add more records, you can specify here. Select and execute now. So 2 rows affected. We have given right here 2 rows. Now check it in select select star select star from student 2. You can see right 3 Raj 36, 3 Raj 36, 4 Ram 38, 4 Ram 38. So we can also insert the records into we have different ways to create these values into the student, into the table. So this is the insert statement. Thank you, friends.